The Horror Movie Iceberg Explained. Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be covering the Horror Movie Iceberg. This one was made by Moon Edits on Reddit, so shout out to you. Now, one thing I need to say before I start this video is that a lot of the entries on the first two layers are pretty well known movies. So what I've done is that I've gone back and edited the iceberg to cut out any movies that I think don't really need explaining or that much explaining, because I'm pretty sure we all know it. Most of us have probably seen at least one Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream movie in our lifetime. Anyway, let's get into the video. A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is a 2018 horror movie directed by the one and only John Krasinski. The film follows a family forced to live in silence as monsters will hunt them down and kill them if they do make a noise. The film was so popular that it got a sequel released in 2021 titled A Quiet Place Part 2, which explains how the monsters got to Earth and shows us more of the damaged world and survivors. Not only that, but it has been confirmed that a third A Quiet Place film is being made and is set to be released in 2025. The film will be called A Quiet Place Day 1, which will focus on our main survivors trying to survive Day 1 of the invasion. So mark your calendars for 2025. The Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man is a 2017 movie directed by Stacy Tidal. It is based on a 2005 short story by Robert Damon Schneck called The Bridge to Body Island. The movie is about 3 college students moving into an old house off campus. Eventually, the students find the words "Don't say it, don't think it" carved into an old nightstand, along with the words "The Bye Bye Man" in an old drawer. After they repeat these lines, they begin to be haunted by the Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man feeds off of people's fears and insecurities, even managing to get people to do awful things. In order to defeat the Bye Bye Man, they just need to stop thinking about him, because the more they think about him, the stronger the Bye Bye Man gets. Megan. One of the newer movies on this list is Megan, which was released earlier this year. The movie is about a girl named Katie who loses her parents in a car accident. She's forced to live with her Aunt Gemma, who knows nothing about raising a kid. So she builds Megan, which stands for Model 3 Generative Android. She was built so she could protect and take care of Katie, but after being attacked by a dog, she starts to kill anyone who hurts Katie. And, oh yeah, how could I forget this?
What are you doing?
Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, then you've definitely seen someone on social media do this dance. The Boy. The Boy is a 2016 movie about a nanny named Greta who is hired to take care of a young boy, but she later finds out that this boy is actually a doll. She is given strict rules by the parents, like don't leave the doll alone and always read the doll a bedtime story. Eventually, Greta finds clues that the doll might be alive, and she starts to break these rules. Because of this, the doll starts to haunt Greta. Children of Corn. Children of Corn is a 1984 movie based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. It's about a cult of children who have killed all the adults in town in order to please the entity known as He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Eventually, a young couple stumbles across the town while on a road trip. As they try to escape, they see the town's history and learn more about the cult. Children of Corn has gotten many sequels and remakes over time. Hush. Hush is a 2016 horror movie about a deaf woman named Maddie who lives alone in the forest. One night, a man wearing a white mask starts to terrorize Maddie and threatens to kill her. However, because she's deaf, she can't hear any of it. The film switches between Maddie's perspective, which means we don't hear anything, and the perspective of someone else. Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary is a 1989 movie based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. It is about the Creed family whose cat, Church, died after being hit by a truck. The neighbors bring the father of the family to a burial ground where they can resurrect Church. After they do bring Church back, he starts to act violent towards the family. Eventually, the son Gage also dies. The father tries to bring Gage back to life at the burial ground, but the neighbor warns him not to do it, saying that sometimes dead is better. After Gage is brought back, he is no longer an innocent child, but is now violent and threatens to kill his family. Eventually, a remake of Pet Sematary was released in 2019. The Omen. The Omen is a 1976 movie about a man named Robert who adopts a baby named Damien. After the kid grows up, strange things begin to happen. People close to Damien begin to die in gruesome ways. It is then revealed that Damien is actually the Antichrist, the son of Satan. So, Robert, a photographer, and a priest team up to kill Damien and prevent him from ending the world. The Babadook. The Babadook is a 2014 horror movie about a mother and her child coping with the death of their father. The mother, Amelia, reads a book titled The Babadook to her son. However, this summons the Babadook. The Babadook feeds off the grief of their dead father and possesses the son. Eventually, Amelia deals with the death of her husband and moves on with her life. This defeats the Babadook. Insidious. Insidious, or as I like to call it, The Conjuring, but it's not based on a true story, is a film series about a family being haunted by ghosts. The first film follows a family moving into a new house. After they move into this house, they begin to experience strange occurrences. Later, their son Dalton falls into a coma-like state. They later find out that spirits are trying to possess their son, so they hire a psychic to help the father rescue their son. Since then, there have been 4 Insidious movies, with a 5th movie being released later this year. Cujo. Cujo is a 1983 horror movie based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. Cujo is a dog who is bitten by a bat. The bat infects the dog with rabies, turning Cujo into a vicious killing dog. While at the mechanic shop, Cujo attacks the mechanic, so the main characters, Vic and Donna, hide in the car. However, they later have to find a way to survive the heat and the lack of water. Krampus. Krampus is a 2014 horror comedy about a dysfunctional family who lose their holiday spirit and accidentally summon a demon known as Krampus. The family has to survive and defend themselves from Krampus and his many minions. Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep is a sequel to the 1980 horror movie The Shining. It follows an adult version of Dan Torrance, which now Dan has become an alcoholic as he has used alcohol to cope with his trauma as a kid. Later, he meets a girl named Abra, who shares the same abilities as Dan. They eventually learn about a vampire group called the True Knot that feeds on children. Abra and Dan use their psychic abilities to stop the True Knot from killing any other children. The Fly. The Fly is a 1958 science fiction horror movie about a scientist who creates a device that can transport matter. However, while using the device on himself, a fly makes its way into the device, and the device fuses the DNA of the fly with the scientist. At first, the scientist gains superhuman abilities, but later he transforms into a human-sized fly. The Fly would later get a remake, released in 1986, starring Jeff Goldblum. Smile. Smile is a horror movie that got released earlier last year. It is about a woman who starts having hallucinations of people smiling at her in a weird way. After a while, she can only see people with a creepy smile on their face. Now, you may know this movie as the movie that paid people to smile at cameras at baseball games to advertise the movie. Really, that's just a weird way to advertise for a movie, man. Surely you could have just stuck to a trailer or something. Maniac. Maniac is a 1980 horror movie about a psychotic man who works at a mannequin shop. The man is haunted by the memories of his abusive mother, so he goes out and kills women who remind him of his mother. He uses the hair from these women to put on his mannequins. Now, Maniac is somewhat based on the story of Ed Gein, who would kill women and use their skin to make furniture. Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe is a 2016 horror movie about 3 criminals who break into the house of a blind man, hoping to steal a large sum of money. However, they later find out that the blind man is a skilled army veteran and hunts down these criminals. The burglars are forced to hide in the old man's house, otherwise they will be killed by the old man. Dead Silence. Dead Silence is a 2007 horror movie about a man named Jamie who returns to his hometown to investigate the death of his wife. He later learns that the death of his wife is related to the legend of Mary Shaw, a ventriloquist who was killed by the townspeople after she was suspected of killing her son. Mary's spirit haunts the town, and the townsfolk seek revenge on anyone who speaks of Mary or her dolls in a rude way. Deadly Dreams. Deadly Dreams is a 1988 movie about a man named Alex who has been having nightmares about the time he killed his abusive dad. However, his dreams become more and more realistic and vivid, to the point where he can't distinguish the difference between real life and his dreams. Sinister. Sinister is a 2012 horror movie about a man named Ellison Oswalt who moves into a house with his family. However, the house is haunted by ghosts of children who have killed their family members. Ellison moved into the house so he could write a new novel on the murders that occurred at that house. Ellison later discovers some tapes in the attic which shows children killing their family members in gruesome ways. Later, a creature known as Bagul begins to haunt Ellis. Eventually, Ellison and his family move out of the house. However, the daughter drugs Ellison and the rest of the family. She then kills them, and she is then taken away by Bagul. Dharma. So I'm not sure what this entry is exactly referring to. It could be referring to the 2017 movie My Friend Dharma, but that is less of a horror movie and more of a thriller/drama. It could also be referring to the many other Jeffrey Dahmer related movies. However, the entry just says Dharma, so maybe it is referring to the Netflix TV show, which is commonly just called Dharma, but that is a TV show and not a movie. A Page of Madness. A Page of Madness is a 1926 Japanese horror movie about a janitor who works at an insane asylum. He works there because his wife is being held at the insane asylum after having a mental breakdown. The film explores themes of mental illness and is considered to be a masterpiece in early Japanese cinema. Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp is a 1983 horror movie about a girl named Angela who goes to a camp in upstate New York. However, a series of murders occur at the camp, which Angela is accused of. The film is known for its twist ending, where Angela is revealed to be a boy named Peter, who is thought to be dead. Frostbiter. Frostbiter is a 1995 movie about a group of friends who go camping in the wilderness. However, they unknowingly awaken the Wendigo, a spirit of Native American mythology. The movie parodies other horror movies with its over-the-top gore and humor. Terrifier. Terrifier is a 2016 movie about a killer clown named Art the Clown who goes around killing people on Halloween night. Art later focuses on 2 women and tries to kill them in gory ways. You may also know this film for its brutal sequel that was Terrifier 2. All silent films. Yeah, I guess it's just referring to all silent films. Not much I can say. Forbidden World. Forbidden World is a 1982 sci-fi horror movie about a scientist who is sent to another planet to deal with a deadly mutation. However, when he gets there, he finds out that the mutation has escaped and has started to kill scientists. So he teams up with another scientist to prevent this thing from spreading to Earth. DNA. DNA is a movie released in 1997. It is about a doctor who lives in a small village in a jungle. However, later, a set of gruesome murders occur in the jungle. It is later revealed that a monster resembling a dinosaur has been behind these kills. Ichi the Killer. Ichi the Killer is a Japanese horror film based on a manga of the same name. It is about a Yakuza boss who goes missing, so his loyal enforcer is sent to look for him. However, while searching for him, he is thrown into a world of torture, pain, and fights with rival gangs. Meanwhile, Ichi was a sadistic young boy who was also caught in this world of torture and pain. Antrum. Antrum is a 2018 movie that is presented as if it was lost footage from the 1970s. It is about two siblings who dig straight to hell to save their dead pet. Now the film is presented as if it was a cursed film, and anyone who watched it would be doomed to a painful fate. Audition. Audition is a Japanese horror film released in 1999. It is about a widower who holds an audition for a new wife. He later falls in love with a young woman. However, he later finds out some dark secrets about his new lover. The Farm. The Farm is a horror movie released in 2018. The movie follows a young couple who get lost on a country road and find themselves trapped on a farm run by a family of twisted, murderous cannibals. The couple are subjected to gruesome and torturous experiments as the family tries to turn them into one of their own. As they try and escape, they must confront their fears and find the strength to survive. Circus Kane. Circus Kane is a 2017 horror movie where a group of strangers are invited to a circus-themed haunted house. Whoever can survive the haunted house will win a large sum of money. However, the group later finds out that the traps around the haunted house are meant to kill them, so they have to get together and find a way out of this haunted house. The Devil's Warehouse. Devil's Warehouse is about a businessman who fails to keep his end of the bargain up with Satan. So, Satan curses his warehouse and his warehouse becomes haunted. A group of paranormal investigators decide to spend the night at the warehouse to see if it really is haunted. However, they are stalked by a horrifying clown as evil descends upon the crew. They are forced to fight for their survival, otherwise they'll end up like the latest victims of him. And that was the horror movie Iceberg. It took me a while to edit, even though it's quite a small iceberg. It probably took me a while because I had to research all those movies. But anyway, if you liked the video, then like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. That is not my outro. I say something different, but I'm just tired right now. It's 11 o'clock and I'm about to go to bed soon. So, good night, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in.